Well, hello there. That's my coarse cowboy voice. Hey, I've been thinking about some stuff a lot, and I'm thinking about redoing my course here. The 2016 version was great, but you know how it is. You just learn things so quickly if you've been playing around with stuff online. If you have any breakthroughs at all, you want to share those. And I've had breakthroughs, and I want to redo the course. And so I've been getting back into just really thinking and analyzing about what makes things work and what keeps them from working. And I came up with this list. Why people fail at making a living online. Lack of focus, lack of passion, content mismatch, no personality, low financial ceiling, lack of confidence. Just kidding. We're not going to go through them that fast. Gotcha. Gotcha, bitch. Okay. But let's go through these one by one. I'll show you a few examples or just a few talking points on some sites, just kind of show you some things. But for the most part, I think this is a pretty exhaustive list. There's a few more reasons why you might fail. But, you know, ultimately, it comes down to lack of technical know-how, or trying to do too much, or, you know, the sort of personal reasons why people don't succeed as well. Which I get. I went through all these phases myself, and, you know, just my stubbornness is the only reason why I ever actually pulled this off. Okay? So why people fail at making a living online. One is lack of focus, obviously. You want to start something online, but you have life to deal with. So you have you have your job, and you have your relationship, and you have your family, and you have any number of different things, and it's really hard to just stay on track and work consistently towards making something come to life. Okay, we all understand that. That's a common reason why people don't succeed at getting to the point where they're, you know, really making a living online. Okay. The second one, lack of passion or a content mismatch. It's just really hard to do something without being into it. You know, like you got to have some heart into it. It's got to be fun. It's got to be exciting. And if it's not, it's really hard to make it work, right? It's kind of like if you hate exercise and you're trying to get in shape, and then you keep forcing yourself to do workout regimens that you don't like. It just never works. You always fall off the wagon when you try to force yourself to do something you don't like to do. So that's kind of what this is about. Yeah, some people can force themselves to do stuff they don't want to do. I feel sorry for those people. It means they're spending a lot of time doing something they don't like. You know, I do this. The reason I do this, and you know, the reason I got interested in making money online in the first place, because I really highly value my time and freedom. I'd rather be poor and spend my time doing stuff I like than be rich and spending my time doing something I don't like. So, then there's ways to figure out kind of what that is. I mean, a lot of people are like, how do you find your passion? That can be a tricky thing. There is a methodology. I'm not going to go into it today. But there is a way to kind of identify things that you're well suited to and that you like. And surprisingly, a lot of people just don't really know themselves all that well. And these passions change too. So don't get me wrong. It's not like Curly said in the movie City Slickers. It's not all life is not all about one thing. It might be all about one thing at one time, but that changes. But anyway, I'm sorry. I don't need to be going on a big tangent about this. But I love talking about this subject, which is why I'm blabbering about it. One is no personality. There's a lot of people out there that just have very little personality, or they have a dry personality, or they're afraid to really fully express their true selves online, and they're stiff. There's nothing about them that is really exciting and cool and attention-getting. There's just nothing, you know, and everything that they do just kind of just falls flat because they themselves are kind of being flat. They don't have anything big and bold to say. They don't have some kind of like funny personality. They have no humor. They have no anger. They have nothing. Lack of personality is definitely a liability for some, and that's a common reason why people fail. And there's some cases where there's nothing you can do about it, but usually people have a much bigger personality in their own private lives or even in their own minds than they really let on. And it's really important to just be your private persona publicly. That's you should have your sense of humor, and if you see something that you don't agree with, you should call bullshit. You shouldn't be afraid to just be, to have that really bright personality. A low financial ceiling. I see this so much. If you don't believe, if to you like 10,000 or 5,000 or 20,000 a month or whatever, if all that sounds just like this insane amount of money, then you've got a low financial ceiling. This played out big for me. I was totally content making a small amount of money because I'm a very frugal person. I don't like even the thought of becoming wealthy in a world where people are starving to death. That would make me feel extremely uncomfortable. The values and the what would you call it? The values, the associations, the image of the wealthy, I detest. So I was okay, and for a long, I was okay with making a couple thousand a month. That was enough to live the kind of lifestyle I wanted. And I found myself getting stuck there, and I just had trouble believing that I could really make a lot of money. I was perfectly happy making enough to just barely scrape by. And it wasn't until I went and publicized somebody else's work and I watched them make $60,000 a month off of my followers that I was making like $1,500 a month off of the time. It wasn't until I saw that I had a shift. I really saw that there was a lot more potential there than I realized, and from that point forward, I made a lot more money than that. And so, a low financial ceiling. A lot of people will the way that they plan their business out, the way that they think, their vision for it will all be small. And if it's too small, it has no chance of really being successful. So it's important to be a little bit of a big thinker, have a higher financial ceiling. Again, it's something that takes a lot of personal work to have to overcome that. This is a multi-hour conversation alone. I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm just pointing out that having a low financial ceiling is a huge, very, very common reason why people fail to make a living online. Okay? It's kind of like you have to believe it that you can do it before you can do it. And just, daydreaming about it is not enough. You got to really feel, it's hard to describe. Like, you have to feel like you deserve it. It has to be a normal, comfortable amount for you. 20,000 a month. Okay, it's no big deal. It's like it has to be no big deal. Of course, yeah, 20,000 a month. Yeah, that's all I make. You just have to have a different mentality. Lack of confidence. Obviously people, aside from the money issues and the lack of confidence with money, have lack of confidence just in general. They're afraid that they're not smart enough, that they're not good enough, that nobody's going to like them, that their idea isn't very good, that their customers are not going to be very happy. There's all kinds of reasons that people lack confidence. And I would say one key and one repeating theme I see again and again and again, if you were looking for one quality of successful entrepreneurs of any kind, online or off, confidence is huge, right? And again, this is an extremely difficult thing to manufacture if you don't have it. I would say if there was one key to my success, it's probably the C word, right? I'm a cock. I'm a cocky, confident person, and I'm not afraid. Like, I have bravado in everything that I do, and even when I was doing just completely stupid shit, I thought it was the smartest thing that had been birthed out of any human mind. This is the beginning of time. It served me well. Yeah, I'm a jackass, but it works. So, again, it's just a common reason why people are failing to make a living online. Okay? Another reason, lack of heart and authenticity. Another huge key to my success and success of a lot of people out there is having a lot of heart and authenticity. If you're in this to make money, you might succeed, but you also run the risk of just not making any really good strong connections with people who are going to become your potential customers. So this heart and authenticity, it yields trust, and trust is like worth its weight in gold when it comes to being successful with any kind of online venture. So you have to really want to help people. You have to want to provide a service. You have to have, and it kind of ties back into this passion. You have to have something, you have to have a desire to really change people's lives. You don't have to. I've seen plenty of success stories without that, but not having it is a liability, and that liability can be one of the primary reasons that people fail making a living online. Another is vague branding. Okay, I have some clients that I work with, and one of those clients that I just got recently, I'll show you her site if I can find it. Of all the clients that I have and that I'm working with, I am the most horrified about working with Chantel, right? And I've talked to Chantel. She knows this, that I have this huge fear about how generic this is. So it's a beautiful site. This is her site. This is not a site that I helped her create. We haven't started working together yet. She's busy at the moment, and I'm busy working with some other clients, but I'm working with her later this year. But if you look at her site, eat delicious, live healthy, be happy, right? It doesn't get more generic than that. Eat delicious foods and still have the body you want. Generic. Live healthy because healthy is the new sexy, right? All these things, not to be insulting, but all these things just scare the hell out of me because there's nothing specific. This is vague branding. When you come to this website, you know it's about, being healthy, but you don't know anything specific, and it's chantelstreet.com, which that doesn't tell me anything about what this site is about. It's just a person's name. So I can see her, and she looks good, and she looks happy, and she looks healthy, and all those things are great, but there's just nothing specific about it. I don't know why. I don't have any compelling reason why this is the person, right? So, so we have to really work on branding, because this, to me, this is a huge branding concern for me. Again, kind of generic stuff, right? The 10 simple steps to healthy, happy, and hot, right? Plus your best foods for weight loss. So she has this site running now, and she has no success with it whatsoever. So this site is better looking than any site I've ever been a part of. But that means nothing. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But anyway, you have to have something that you do that's very specific, right? Like my site, Buck Books. It has great branding. Buck Books, never pay more than $1 for a book ever again. You know the moment you get there that it's very specific service, right? It's a service to get books at a discount. It's just specific. It's not anything special, anything grand, but at least you know immediately what that's all about. So the vagueness of branding is definitely a concern. And another concern is how the hell I find my way back to the PDF that I was just showing you. There it is underneath there. Yes, we found it. We did it. We did it, you guys. Poor product or service. There's people that are like slapping together poor products and services, kind of 12,000 word books that they wrote in 10 hours. I am one of those types of people. Like, I've put together so many poor products, and it's just such a shame. Like, I've written a lot of like really half-assed books and things, and if I could go back in time and change anything, like I would. This is one of my. I'm lucky that I made it because my products have always been pretty poor. So poor product or service is a huge killer. You have to have something that's great. And if you have something that's great, it makes everything so much easier. Also, you only need one thing to be great that sells well in order to have massive success. You don't have to have a bunch of successes. You don't have to have 12 of them. You don't need, it's just if you really create one thing and a great process to sell that product, then you can be extremely successful. And most people are putting way too little time in the development of that product and service, and they're rushing into their marketing. Okay. Another is a bad website. To To me, a website is two things, right? I like to see a website either gathering email addresses or selling something. I don't like to see a website be anything else, especially for beginners, okay? So that's just extremely simple. And what people are doing with most of their websites, the biggest flaw I see in website design these days is they're trying to do too much, right? They have a menu of options and all these different kinds of things to click on, and people don't do what you want them to do. If you're focused on getting email subscribers or selling something, then those are both outcomes. And the getting email subscribers is basically the same thing as a sales page. It's just you're deciding, oh, I can't sell it to them right away. It's too soon. I need these people to get to know me a little bit first. So it's I would call getting a website that's geared up to get email subscribers is basically a delayed sales page, right? So it's got to be focused. You really got to get people focused on taking the right action. And if you give them more options, it's just going to really hurt your ability to sell products and make money. Okay. Also, there's just a lot of people with terrible, terrible graphics. So this guy recently sent me this page, right? And he said, "Hey, Matt, will you look at my sales page and let me know what you think?" Right? And he sent me this, right? This is like his sales page, you know? "Hey, I'm Tom." And I couldn't even respond, you know, because this is the fucking worst shit I've ever seen in my life, right? Sorry, Tom, but this is fucking awful. Is this Debbie? What the fuck is this? But there is a bonus. Yeah, sorry, I'm working on my Barack Obama impersonation. But this honestly, like, he thinks, like, he was seriously, like, this was a serious attempt at making a sales page, right? And I've made some horrible shit on the internet. Don't get me wrong, okay? But, you know, you have to have a great opt-in page, a great sales page. And if you don't, then everything that you do related to trying to sell it, any kind of marketing you do, it's all complete and utter waste of time. Even if this product is like the most amazing thing ever, it doesn't matter if this page isn't good. And this is a really common problem. People just starting out, they don't know, they don't have a good eye for what looks good. They don't have maybe a budget or a good go-to person to be a designer or developer. Huge problem. So here's another one. Lori sent me this yesterday, wanted me to take a look at it. This is just designed to get email subscribers. And, you know, this is just not going to work. This is really disjointed. It has this big open space, this tiny little thumbnail, and this is too small, and this tiny little red button is way off. You know, it's just not going to work very well. So, like, opt-in pages I create, always over 50%, you know, 50 to 70% opt-in rate. This is probably like, you know, 10%. You know, I've created and it's not like I haven't created a shitty one. I created a really shitty one here, right? My original site. This is the first site that I made successful. I mean, this site is all about getting email subscribers, but this page is too much stuff. It's cluttered and it sucks and it doesn't work very well. So, yeah, I know plenty. I know plenty about what it's like to have a page that's not designed correctly. So you want to use just like plain old templates and make sure that you have stuff that works. Like, you have to have a good website. Okay, and it has to be really simple. Not enough for sale. A lot of people, here's the most common. Obviously, I get a lot of people interested in self-publishing and publishing on Kindle because I've put out a lot of information about it. I have services in that realm, and so one of the most common scenarios people come to me with is they're wanting to like build an email list and do all this marketing to try to get all these subscribers and build a following, and all that they have for sale are Kindle books that are like $3. Right? There is no way that you can be successful just selling like one $3 book. It's just not enough. So there's people who don't have enough for sale, and that's a liability. Or they're just trying to make money off of it. They don't have anything for sale. They're just trying to make money off of affiliate marketing and advertising. right? Which is you got to get huge traffic. You have to have a huge following to make decent money that way, I've found. Not huge, but it's got to be pretty substantial, and it's hard. If you have to have a huge following to be successful, like your chances of failing are really high. No high ticket items for sale. It's kind of in the same vein, but everybody needs to have something that's hundreds of dollars, or even $1,000, or even $10,000, right? Having a high ticket item is really important. So having a website, having an internet business that you launch that doesn't have anything that's very expensive, you're just leaving so much money on the table, and it limits your ability to make enough money. And if you're not making enough money, then you can't hire people, then you can't improve your site, then you can't pay to do any kind of advertising, you can't have a competitive affiliate program. Nothing that you do works if you're not making enough money, and the best way to make money is to have a high ticket item. It makes such a huge difference. So you may not be into like coaching or hand holding or just doing something where you're delivering maximum quality and dedicating all your time 24/7 to some one client. That may not be your vision, but man, when you're first starting out, this really helps. I recommend everybody doing that. So not having that, definitely a reason why people fail online. Not capturing email addresses. Again, there's just a ton of people putting all this content out there, but they're not getting email addresses, so it doesn't mean a whole lot. If you get a bunch of views on YouTube, or you get a bunch of people reading your blog, or you got a ton of likes on Facebook, it just doesn't really mean all that much. Because you just don't really have any power to get in touch with those people when it comes to something that's for sale. Try going on Facebook and posting something like, oh, check this great thing I have for sale. It'll fall flat on its face. Even if you have 10 million likes on Facebook, you post that, it's not going to be successful because of the way their algorithm works. All the algorithms on everybody else's platform, they're popularity detectors. And so anytime something has $1 as a price tag, or even if you're just trying to get email addresses and you have an opt-in page, that's not going to be successful on social media. So that following is just not worth very much. You might be able to get in touch with them with a piece of your content, and they may trickle over and end up buying something from you just because they've seen you and heard about you and they like what you post and they just connected with you. But man, I know you wouldn't believe how many people I know with hundreds of thousands of people on social media, and they're making dick because they don't have a way to get email addresses. They don't have any way to really get in touch with those people about something that really matters. Okay? So, failure to network with others or troll them. There's all these people out there in your niche, whatever you're interested in doing, there's dozens of people, maybe hundreds of people that have already built a following over a period of years. They're the ones out there who have done all these videos and done all this social media marketing, and they've done all this blogging and podcasting, and they've built an audience. And if you are able to network with those people and build relationships with those people and start to work collaboratively with those people, then you can basically tap into their audiences. And that is huge. Trying to go it solo, just connecting with one reader at a time, one listener, one viewer at a time, one customer at a time, is next to impossible. So you need to network with others. And if you don't see eye to eye with the other people in your niche, and you want to be sort of a maverick renegade that stands out from the rest of the crowd, if you don't want to try to network and collaborate with them, then you need to troll them, right? You need to bash them, talk about why they're wrong, stir up a ruckus, and still get them talking about you, focused on you, talking about you to their audience. Even if they're saying negative things, you get a huge amount of their audience to come over and check out who you are. And my original business I built primarily with trolling. Not particularly proud of it, but it does work. And because I was 180 degree health and I was saying all this contrarian stuff that was out of sync with what everybody else was talking about, I had no choice but to shoot down the ideas of others rather than trying to collaborate and network with them. So, and it was really effective. So I can't say that, I have to throw that in there because is a big thing for me. And I've seen it work for so many other people too. I mean, it's just, it's like lighter fluid. Okay, too much marketing. All right, posting on social media, podcasting, blogging, YouTubing, right? All that kind of stuff, like Facebooking and twattering and snatch chatting and all those things. All that stuff is marketing. All that stuff is marketing, you guys. Marketing, marketing, marketing. Okay, and God, it's like there's so much focus on the marketing and building this audience, but it's such a waste of time because it's not where you should be focusing at all. Marketing is what you do when you got everything perfect, right? So again, kind of like I said, focusing more on the product or service. So people get caught up doing all this marketing, but they're marketing nothing. It's like they're bringing a bunch of customers into their restaurant and they got nothing to feed, nothing to serve them. Okay. Ninja hacking, right? There's always these, discussions about all these like tactics and tools and ninja hacks and cool, awesome, sweet stuff, right? This is a huge distraction from what really matters, right? These little tactics or hacks, they're always short-lived, and they're not the fundamental things that are going to carry you. They're not going to be those, the heart and authenticity that's going to make you connect with somebody. It's not the passion that's going to fuel, you putting out lots of content. The kind of content that's charged with excitement and enthusiasm, passion, anger, whatever it might be. Okay, so this whole ninja hacking and trying to, do all these like keyword stuffing or whatever, there's just like a million different things. Don't focus on that stuff. But if you get caught up on that stuff, you're almost sure to fail. Okay. Advertising. You would think advertising would be a good thing, but advertising, if you're new at this and you're just starting out, you're not at the point where you're making a living online yet, and you want to get there. Advertising, this is like getting on a snowboard on your first day and trying to do like one of those like 1080 McTwist nut grab things or whatever they call them, right? This is really advanced. You have to be extremely advanced. I fucking can't do it. I'm working on creating sites and creating pages and creating systems that enable people to, that enable me to advertise successfully. But this is like one of the hardest things is to set up something that can be advertised with a positive return. Okay? Advertising is really, really tough. And when people focus on it and start spending money in it, their business quickly tanks, they run out of money, and it's just, advertising is like this awesome dream where you just like pull out your credit card and you just like, boom, you just like create this little ad in 5 minutes, and then all of the traffic comes over to your site without you having to do any work. Man, that is just a pipe dream, okay? And in my course, to be fair, in the 2017 course, I'm going to be talking about advertising much more than I have in the past, but it's still advertising or trying to advertise your way to success rather than to go out there and network with others in your niche and all that kind of stuff. Advertising is just so much harder to master, and it's a good way to lose a bunch of money. And yeah, speaking of losing too much money, spending too much money is another reason, right? My first website that I had designed was I spent $7,000. I spent like $4,500 getting some backlinks from a company that specialized in SEO. I got nothing to show from any of that, guys. I mean, that was nothing. I mean, literally nothing. That's what, $11,500 that was spent and nothing to show for it. Not a dollar. Not a dime. Nothing. So you don't need to spend too much money, okay? If you're just starting out, you're new at this, you don't know where to spend the money even if you had it. So people who think they need, I got 10 grand, I want to put all that money towards my business, do not do that. Do not spend too much money. You're just throwing it down the toilet. Okay? So you want to start really lean. You don't want to spend too much money. Maybe you could spend some money on getting your website looking nice, right? Maybe you could spend some money on a nicer piece of software. Like maybe you could use ClickFunnels and trying to instead of just trying to do like a, or maybe you could spend a little extra money on your domain so that you're not like, Bob Jones at WordPress.wordpress.com. You could actually get, your own domain. Just little things like that. But you don't want to be spending more than a couple $1,000s on a new business, or you're just gonna screw yourself. So, and it's just really defeating to spend money and not make any off of it, right? It's a huge killer, morale killer, and morale is everything when it comes to making a living online, because you can hurt your confidence, your focus, your passion, your heart and authenticity. All of that can be damaged by spending a bunch of money and have it not work out. You don't want your spouse or whatever giving you grief, telling you that you're an idiot. And I guarantee that will happen if you spend too much money and you don't have anything to show for it. So don't be stupid with that. Overly complicated business. We kind of talked about that with an overly complicated site. It doesn't need to be that difficult, right? So like if I look at this site, right? This is my friend Ari. Ari and I helped him publish his first book, and we still talk and communicate. But he has this really simple program, right? You enter your email address, and then you get this video series, and then he works to sell you a product. And now that he has some people on his email list, he has a blog and he has a podcast that he just launched. So he uses his email subscribers to be successful with his blog and podcast. That content gets shared around a little bit, and he ends up getting some more email subscribers. It's really simple though, guys. I mean, it's like a video series. It's an opt-in page, a video series, and one product for sale. And Ari did like $700,000 in his first 6 months of doing this, right? It's fucking incredible. It doesn't need to be complicated. The more complicated it is, the worse it is, the less likely you are going to be to succeed, okay? Especially starting out. You can always complicate it more. He didn't start out with a blog and a podcast. Those are additions. He's adding, one step at a time, he's adding little tiny complications to what he's doing. But he started out super lean, focused, clear, precise, uncomplicated. Okay, your business needs to be something that's very clear and easy to understand. Like, okay, I offer an advertising service, and here's my sales page, and when they sign up, then I'm going to do this. That's all you need. You don't need to have something that's super complicated with, okay, they're going to be in my loyalty program, then I'll have my group, and then I will do, then I'll have my upgrades for this and that. You don't need something that's crazy complicated. You also don't need to be going around and spraying social media diarrhea, doing too much marketing either, which is another complication. So anyway, that's that. Needing to get internet famous, that's a huge one. I talk about this all the time. Needing to get internet famous. I hate businesses where you need to have thousands of visitors today in order to be making a full-time living. Okay, you want to set up a site where you're making lots of money per visitor. See this site here, guys? Like I said, I spent $11,500 on my first site and a little bit of marketing for it. Okay, this site I created using a template. This all looks almost exactly like the template. I hardly changed it at all. Okay, this is a template. Did I need to decide what the spacing is here, what the font is, the font size, the width of the font on the page, any of that? No. Do I need to decide the size of this or the where the headline is placed or any of those things? No, it's already there. It's already part of the template. So I made this page in an hour. I wrote this maybe in a couple hours, maybe probably less with a little bit of revision, and put this page together. And when people come to visit this page, again, this is with a template. These are no graphics of my own. This page makes over $10 per visitor. Okay, so it's just an ad service. It's $300, and we offer a money-back guarantee. So we'll make you money or you get your money back. That's all that's on this site, you guys. That's it. This is the whole site. It makes over $10 per visitor. which means that I need to get 10 visitors a day in order to make $100 a day, $3,000 a month, $36,000 a year. All we need is 10 visitors a day, okay? And because of that, it has huge scalability, right? So we don't need to be internet famous. We don't need much traffic. We don't need anything to be successful. If you're setting up a business where you need to get internet famous in order to be successful, you need thousands, you need huge followership and thousands of visits to your website per day just to make the $100 a day or so, then your chances of succeeding are really low. So you want to set things up. The main thing is you want to make sure that you set up a page that's making money, or an opt-in page that leads into a funnel that leads to the sale of a product that makes money. You need to get that right. That's where all the focus should come. And if you get something that's making several dollars per site visitor or more, then you have a site that's so easy to make successful. It's so easy to make a site like that successful. It's so easy. So much easier to get 10, 20, 30 visitors per day to a site than it is to need to get to the point where you're getting thousands. Okay? And of course, taking too long to succeed, right? This kind of ties into this, right? But, if you're doing something and you're doing it and it's not working, or the growth is really, really slow, then that's what causes people to give up. Taking too long to succeed is really the number one reason why people give up. And so that's why it definitely deserves to be last but not least on this list. I think I showed you guys everything that I wanted to show you. Yeah, it's a long list. There's a lot of things that you can screw up. But I wanted to show you just lastly this site. The reason I bring this up is because this is a site that I made successful, okay? And I just want to encourage you to see how simple it can be, right? Everything I'm trying to do is encourage you to be simple with everything that you do, okay? But look how simple this was. Now, I don't condone this type of website because there's many disadvantages, okay? But the fact of the matter is that I made this successful. This is the whole website. That's it. It's fucking ridiculous. Rounding up huge discounts on the best online courses. Subscribe today and receive your first 2 courses for free. Giddy up. Okay? And what this is a service. We would go out and find discount e-courses, or we contact course instructors on sites like Udemy, and we would get them to create a coupon code, and then in exchange for creating that coupon, we would publicize their course to our list, and then we'd use an affiliate link, and then we'd get affiliate commission on the sale of their course as well as any other course for however long the cookie was. Okay? And then we would send emails out to the list with the deals that were going on. I think we were sending them out 2 or 3 times a week. We were sending out emails with some kind of course deals that we lined up. So we're providing a service, right? We didn't have to be an expert. We didn't have to be the world's preeminent authority on a certain subject to create this site, which is another advantage of it. We just had to provide a service. We're willing to go out there and do that work to find those, to line up those deals, and that's worth something. That's what was keeping people subscribed. So we got a couple thousand subscribers, and when we launched, you need a good launch plan, right? You get a good launch plan. We got a couple thousand subscribers, and we made about $8,000 the first month. And we didn't put a whole lot of work into this because we had better prospects, but it made $8,000 the first month, and then it made like, $2,500. Then it's dropped down to maybe like $2,000 or so, but it was making a couple $1,000s a month. And we were just lining up some discounts and sending out 3 short emails per week. Really easy, simple business. Again, I don't recommend it because there's disadvantages. We didn't sell anything. We're getting affiliate commission, which is a huge disadvantage. I love to have people selling something. We would be better off like creating a group of courses maybe and selling it like a bundle. Like perhaps you could subscribe and get a bundle or something like that, or maybe they would subscribe to get discounts and get that for free, and then they would find out about the bundle and we would sell that. But processing payment on your own site and actually collecting revenue quickly is really important, which is why I don't recommend this approach. But I did wanted to show it to you because it is the most like just stupid, ridiculous, easy, pathetic, sorry excuse for a website business. And it still worked. Okay, this can be done. You just have to find something that you like, that's interesting, and keep it really simple and actually do it and take advantage of some of the principles that I talk about, such as networking with others and making sure that you have something for sale, blah blah blah. So anyway, I'll wrap it up there, but suffice it to say that you could definitely do this. It's not impossible, but you definitely want to do things in a way where you're not shooting yourself in the foot. The hardest thing to do in internet business is to go from 0 to about 3,000 a month, where you know that you're pretty much going to be able to make a living at this. So getting over that huge hurdle is the hardest thing in internet business. And so many people are doing so many things, all these things here, that are giving them this huge disadvantages when they go and try to do that. So hopefully this video helped you solve and helps prevent you from making some of these mistakes when you go to try to make some money online. Or maybe it helps you understand why things you tried in the past were a failure and enable you to correct those problems when you go and make your next attempt. Anyway, I'm out. My name is Buck Flogging, and you can find me back at my website, quitn6.com. That's quit, the letter N, and the number 6.com. And like I said, I got my course relaunching 2017 version, and it's going to be really killer, much better than the 2016 version, with a lot of updates, such as the tools I use to make sweet-ass pages like this without any help, instead of paying $7,000 like I did for my original site. And other goodies, other insights that I've accumulated over the last year and a half. Another site, for example, my girlfriend has this site, and she was able to make her way up to a full-time living in less than 6 months. So just all kinds of fun things that that was new. So all these kinds of things will be included in the course, and it's going to be fun. So get ready. It's coming early August.